Welcome back to Miss Ewing TV. Today I'm going to show you part one of our radial balanced print. So here's my finished example. I'm going to start on a new piece of paper, and this paper is 8 inches by 8 inches, so it's a square. On the back I want you to write your name. Don't write Mrs. Ewing, that's not your name. And then write your class code. If you're not sure what your class code is, it's listed on the orange poster hanging up by the board. All right, then you're going to flip your paper over, and we're going to find the center of your paper with a ruler. So on one side of the ruler, it's listed with inches. On the opposite side of the ruler, it's centimeters. CM stands for centimeters. Most of them say inch on the inch side. Now, your measurement or your ruler doesn't start measuring at the edge of the ruler. It starts measuring at that first little mark. So when I'm measuring the center of my paper, I'm going to have to measure it horizontally and vertically. So I'm going to line up the 0 mark with the edge of my paper, and I'm going to go over, I'm going to find the middle, so it's 8 inches wide, so I'm going to find the center, which would be 4 inches. I'm going to just make a small mark right there. Then I'm going to measure it vertically, so I'm turning my ruler vertical. I'm going to put it right on that little mark I made with the 4-inch mark. And I'm going to continue that line down just a little bit, and now I'm making a mark at the 4-inch mark here. So where these two lines meet, that is the center of my paper. Now I drew my line lightly so that I could erase, because all I want is that center dot, and it could be really light as long as I can still see it a little bit. Now let me show you one more time. I held my ruler in the center, put my 0 mark or my first little line on the edge of my paper, made a mark at the 4, rotated it, put the 0 mark at the top of my paper, made a mark at the 4, and where those two lines meet, that's the center of my paper. The reason I'm finding the center is because I want this to be radial balanced, and radial balance has to have a central point. So now I'm going to paint my entire paper with colors. That's where the colors come from in your prints. The black is from the actual print that we're going to do next time. All of the colors are from watercolor paints. So I have my watercolor paints right here, and you'll share with your neighbors at your table, and then you're going to share your water cup with the person that sits across from you. It does not matter which colors you paint with. What does matter is what colors, what order you paint them in, or kind of what is next to each other. So I'm going to start off with some yellow, so I'm going to add some water to my yellow. The more I stir it, the darker it will get. I'm just going to put a dot in the center. And now my next color, I want to be a color that's close on the color wheel to yellow. So I don't want to use colors that are opposite of each other or complementary. So the complement to yellow is purple. If I put purple next, purple and yellow, when they blend together, make brown, and I don't want brown in my artwork. So I'm going to pick a color that's next to it. So I could choose orange, green. Red would work because when they blend together, they will make orange. Blue would work because when they blend together, they will make green. I'm going to go with green next, though, so I'm going to add some water to my green. And I can paint with little lines like this that'll kind of look like tie-dye. And they kind of blend together to make a yellow-green. Another way I could paint, I'm going to clean out my brush and get a new color, but another way I could paint is with by just doing like circles around it. But I want to fill up the white space. So sometimes I just use my brush with water, or I even squeeze the water out and just kind of blend. Getting a little bit of brown there. I'm going to add some more of that blue. If it gets too wet, you can use a paper towel to kind of dab your paper, or use your paintbrush as a sponge like I showed you last time, where you can squeeze the water out. But you're going to continue until you have painted your entire paper. Once it's painted, you're going to put it on the drying rack. And we'll continue next week, and we'll be creating the stamp or the kind of the print for your artwork.